we were just talking about how art, it is something that is life changing, something that is inspiring as well.
कस्तो भन्ने एउटा you when you start making this जस्तो खालको फिल्म्सहरू हैन आर्ट फिल्म्सहरू the only place that we can show it or showcase it is at the festivals. These films were like सबै superb हुन्छ नि, and they were shot in अब तपाईको प्रोफेसनल गियर्सहरू. You can beat the other guy हैन के गरेर भन्छ तर but to आफुलाई त्यो wrestle with yourself is like the one of the most difficult part नि हैन. And we failed to do that के.
Definitely.
हाम्रो कार्ल युङले पनि भनेछ नि त्यसरी. अहिले हाम्रो कार्ल युङ अरे, I'm sorry. It's a social drama, and it's about people who actually drink. Why do they drink? Right? And then it's about it's based on Sigmund Freud's famous quotation, use your mind in little things and trust your heart in bigger ones.
Welcome to Point of Podcast Artists, brought to you by Artsy Productions in collaboration with Summed Up and for our creatives. Today's episode is powered by Tenam Garden. Located in the beautiful woods of Kalimpong, come enjoy a surreal homestay experience at Tenam Garden Holistic Homestay and an extraordinary dining experience in its in-house restaurant Mikoto, which serves a fusion of Japanese and Bhutanese cuisine. For further details, check out the link given in the description below.
Good morning, and here I am on Point of Podcast. My name is Loden Lama. Art matters. That is something I read very recently, something that Neil Gaiman, a personal favorite of mine, said. Art matters, and art has the power to change lives, to create a better world. And that, in essence, is the point of our podcast. We seek to celebrate art, to inspire, and to create a better world. And with that in mind, I have with me Mr. Vivek Rai, an award-winning filmmaker from Kurseong, Darjeeling Hills. Before we move any further, I'll just hand it over to you. Please give us an introduction to yourself.
My name is Vivek Rai, and I'm from Kurseong, and I'm an independent filmmaker. I started my film career from 15 rather. The first film that I made was And We Are Lost To, which was also selected in International Film Festival Cortiga, that was in Spain. And from thereafter, I became more serious into filmmaking, knowing the fact that yes, with small available gadgets, we can make a professional standard film. And thereafter, I've made around about 6 short films, and the recent one is called Death Certificate. So, what else do you want to know about me apart from this?
Again, very nice it's lovely having you with us, on our first episode of Point of Podcast, And like I was just saying, the point of our podcast is to celebrate art. So, I know you as a firm believer in the power of art, So, how about, we start with that? What does art mean to you?
I don't know. It's art is something special to me, and even though I can't pinpoint, what really art is, right? So everything could be art, even if you see the most measurable thing like science, that is also an art. Cooking is art. Way of living is an art. So it's such a vast thing. I cannot really pinpoint what really art is, but it's something which makes you feel special and which you really enjoy doing something, and then you doing that thing with fullest I think that's art.
With the entire being.
Yes. And you said it's life changing, and I think it is, because the kind of movies that and the music that I've been introduced to, that has certainly influenced my life, and it's changed many people's lives as well. So art is beautiful.
And art does matter.
Art does matter.
It does
really.
matter, yes. So, Tapele, you spoke about Death Certificate being your most recent film. And, but then most recently, you've been making waves, if I can say. So, with Shanti, a project that you had been working on for quite some time. And for those who do not know, Shanti, a short film made by Vivek Rai, was awarded the Silver Egg at the Kustendorf Film Festival in Serbia. So again, congratulations there. And so we were just talking about how art, it is something that is life changing, something that is inspiring as well. And I think that this you winning this award more than anything else serves as an inspiration, for a lot of people.
If you can think, that way, हुन्छ होला त्यसरी हैन, because Shanti was just made by like 4 people. Okay, myself, the DOP, and there were like 2 guys who actually helped me, and one was your cousin brother, Eddie, or we call him Penchering. And if you want to look at that way, yes, I know, because the kind of constant that we had when we were filming Shanti, त्यसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ सकिन्छ क्या कि you can achieve I would not say great things, but yes, हुन्छ नि अब things you've not really thought about with just limited resources, with limited budget ले हामी सकिन्छ गर्नु, and then it can act as a source of inspiration.
Yeah, exactly, as a source of inspiration for someone maybe from the audience might be watching this and just thinking to themselves, why can't I do the same?
Sure. I mean, when I was filming, जुन चाहिँ DOP आएको थियो उता बम्बेबाट, he told me that कस्तो भन्ने एउटा नै when you start making this जस्तो खालको फिल्म्सहरु हैन, आर्ट फिल्म्सहरु, the only place that we can show it or showcase it is the festivals, and the festivals मा कस्तो खालको स्ट्यान्डर्ड आउँछ नि त, all international हुन्छ नि हैन. And जुन चाहिँ कुस्टन्डफमा जतिवटा पनि फिल्म्सहरु 17 films were screened, and these films were like सबै सुपर हुन्छ नि, and they were shot in अब तपाईको प्रोफेसनल गियर्सहरु है. We shot it in Canon 5D Mark IV, and that was like 16mm, okay, not even 35mm, and we had like just 3 lenses, and then 16-35 with opening of 2.8, and then you have people who understands the camera, they would know, and हामीले यहाँको सिनेमाटोग्राफरले दिएको भएको चाहिँ हैन, अब they would say no because you've seen Shanti हैन, रातिको सिनहरु छ हुन्छ नि, we just lit with a couple of kerosene lamps and 100 watt bulbs हरु हुन्छ नि क्या. We didn't have like professional lighting पनि थिएन पनि हाम्रो हैन, but it looks so beautiful on the screen त्यहाँनिर. Why? Because we had this color guy from Siliguri also, he is Subhankar Devnath भन्छ हामी हैन, तर त्यो भाइलाई राम्रो गर्दैछ क्या उले. And त्यहाँनिर जुन चाहिँ हाम्रो त्यो 2K प्रोजेक्सनमा हेर्दाखेरि हैन, अरु फिल्म्सहरु जस्तो उषा मिनीले खिचेको रहेछ, एलेक्सा मिनीले खिचेको रहेछ हैन. I mean, these are like professional, they are not even consumer end क्यामेराजहरु. र हामीले त्यस्तो क्यामेराले खिचेर पनि हुन्छ नि, अब we could stand out, we stood out rather हुन्छ नि हैन. र त्यही भन्छु म चाहिँ, जहाँ इच्छा त्यहाँ उपाय हैन. If you have the will हुन्छ नि, you will find certainly एउटा win क्या हुन्छ नि. But त्यो चाहिँ हुनु पर्यो क्या. Okay,
that drive and
determination and sheer grit हुन्छ नि. Okay, म बनाउँछु फिल्म भनेर क्या. Don't think of like winning festivals and all that हुन्छ. Just make a good film हैन. And what does good film entails, तिम्रो फर्स्ट त के भन्नु, तिम्रो स्टोरी, राइट, एन्ड आइडिया हुन्छ नि, भिजन, अनि कसरी चाहिँ यसलाई हुन्छ नि. You don't have to be different, just show the same goddamn thing in your own way. हामी के हुन्छ भने चाहिँ we see a lot of films and then we get inspired on the त्यस्तै खालको way.
You want to emulate them so much, you end up copying them.
Right. So त्यो आफ्नो त्यो सिग्नेचर वे भेट्छ क्या. So my point is that if you do not introspect, right, if you do not investigate yourself as to why you're making that film and what त्यो ड्राइभ के हो क्या त्यो फिल्म बनाउनु पछाडि क्या, सो त्यो तिमीले जति आफूलाई क्वेसन गर्छौ एन्ड वेन यु हेभ एन आन्सर होइन, इट टेक्स लट अफ टाइम होइन, लट अफ के अरे तिम्रो
सोल सर्चिङ,
एक्ज्याक्टली सोल सर्चिङ हुन्छ नि, त्यसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ नथिङ क्यान स्टप यु जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई क्या, हुन्छ नि। इभन एउटा त्यो पोइन्ट एन्ड सुट क्यामेराले पनि खिचेर पनि हुन्छ नि, मैले भेटेको छु त्यस्तो फिल्म मेकर्सहरू जसले चाहिँ पोइन्ट एन्ड सुटले खिचेर पनि अवार्ड जितेको छ, हुन्छ नि क्या। सो यु डोन्ट निड लाइक एक्सपेन्सिभ गियर्स अर लाइक डरलाग्दो एक्टर एक्ट्रेसेस हुन्छ नि क्या, पायो भने झन् राम्रो।
Yeah, but then it's not as cliched as it may sound, ali but then like there is nothing stopping you except yourself.
राइट, र सेल्फ डाउट हुन्छ नि क्या, एउटा हुन्छ त्यो सेल्फ डाउट भन्ने झन् मजा आउँछ, बिकज टु रेसल विथ यर सेल्फ इज द हार्डेस्ट पार्ट के हुन्छ नि। यु क्यान बिट दि अदर गाई होइन के गरेर भन्छ, तर बट टु आफूलाई त्यो रेसल विथ यर सेल्फ इज लाइक द वान अफ द मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट पार्ट नि हुन्छ नि। एन्ड वी फेल टु डु द्याट क्या। हाम्रो कालियुङले पनि भनेको छ नि त्यसरी, अहिले हाम्रो कालियुङ अरे आम सरी, तर कालियुङले भनेको छ नि क्या, पिपल आर स्क्यार्ड हुन्छ नि टु एक्चुली सोल सर्च हुन्छ नि, बिकज इट त्यो भित्र पुऱ्याइन्छ क्या तिमीलाई।
You come face to face with your shadow self.
Right.
अहिले तपाईँ you were talking about personal story, होइन, that it should be you who's telling the story. Now यसमा two of our great filmmakers of this generation, I just want to bring in their differing perspectives on this, and I just want to put it forward before you. And तपाईले अब के भन्नुहुन्छ हैन यो perspective. So Tarantino चाहिँ अब is amazing filmmaker, Quentin Tarantino, हैन, but then and he's a personal favorite of mine. I love Tarantino films.
Me too.
He says good artists copy great artists steal, and Tarantino co works are often pastiches भन्छ नि। At the same time we have Scorsese, Bong Joon-ho, when he went on stage to receive his Oscar, he talked about how Scorsese words being that the most creative is the most personal भन्छ, so now there may not be differing perspectives, but these different points of view. One is saying that the most creative is the most personal. Over here the other one is talking about stealing. Okay, I don't know whether the word stealing probably has some negative connotation, but then stealing as in being inspired and sort of emulating others as well. Of course creativity to sa afno originality to sa, I mean, Tarantino is as original as he gets, but then what is your
first of all I mean I don't know what I mean that was like actually Picasso le bhanyo होला त्यो लाइन चाहिँ when he says कि a good artist steals,
good artists copy and great artists
steals भनेर हैन। I don't know what does that mean actually है। मलाई चाहिँ के लाग्छ भने चाहिँ हुन्छ नि obviously हुन्छ नि if you have a blank slate you cannot create anything, right? So influences त हुन्छै हुन्छ अनि यता र उता कहाँबाट गरे हैन,
there is nothing new under the sun.
Exactly हुन्छ नि हैन। Then that अघि मैले just moment ago I was talking about soul searching and all that हुन्छ नि। I think Martin Scorsese, let's say he was pointing at that हुन्छ नि। It's just that we played with like the words यता उता गरेर चाहिँ it sounds differently, but I think
the essence is
exactly the same thing, right? A personal कुरा गरे हैन, how is it personal when you start really introspecting that internal journey हुन्छ नि क्या। And I think it's very important for every artist, not just every artist but every human being to soul search गर्नु क्या हुन्छ नि,
to go on a personal quest. Right. Even on this panini tapile bhande थियो, I was just thinking ki I mean ultimately for any work of art or for that matter anything that you do, it must begin with an understanding of yourself, and only then when you understand yourself, only then can you begin to understand maybe others or others' point of view.
That is so correct. Okay, and it makes a lot of sense also नि त हैन तिमीले आफूले बुझेको छौ भने चाहिँ हुन्छ नि and because like you know there are so many perspectives there are so many के भन्नु तिमीलाई त्यो dimensions हुन्छ नि to understand a thing right there is like no right way or wrong way हुन्छ नि के it's just your way or his way or their way हुन्छ नि के and उनीहरूको वेले हामी if we find some relatable elements हुन्छ नि and we relate हुन्छ नि त्यो cathartic experience हुन्छ हैन for example if you take Tarkovskyको movies हरु हुन्छ नि अब his films are so visual.
Andrei Tarkovsky. For anyone who wishes to look it up, Andrei Tarkovsky.
Alright. कस्तो भिजुअली उयो हुन्छ नि and then you know उसको त्यो narration it's so के रे त्यो okay I sorry to use this word offbeat हुन्छ नि के त्यो युजुअल narrative हुँदैन हुन्छ नि त्यो हैन where you have this स्टोरीको त्यो एउटा हुन्छ एउटा लिनियर हुन्छ हैन यस्तो हुन्छ यस्तो हुन्छ टक 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 हुन्छ नि लिनियर फ्लो त्यो हुँदै हुँदैन के उसकोमा त्यो and it's just playing this images हुन्छ नि and then images looks beautiful but it doesn't make a sense हैन but it looks beautiful and it sometimes you know it's and त्यो अब जस्तो उसले पनि हाम्रो यो इनारातु हलिउडको एलेहान्ड्रो इनारातुले भन्छ उसको when he sees his Tarkovsky work हुन्छ नि he has this cathartic experience and he starts crying for no reason so त्यसरी इन्स्पायर हुन्छ नि अब फर एक्जाम्पल अब मलाई चाहिँ कस्तो भन्नु नि अब बङ्जुको हुन्छ नि अब बङ्जु प्यारासाइटले हुन्छ नि एकदमै it stimulated my you know my intelligence and it challenged my intelligence also हुन्छ नि अब it's such a simple story but there's so त्यो के रे लेयर क्या हुन्छ नि अब it's a very simple story नि केही हेर्नु केही पनि छैन हुन्छ नि हैन चारजना आएर एउटा घरको त्यो आएर त्यो अक्युपाई हुन्छ नि बिस्तारै बिस्तारै बट उनीहरूको जुन चाहिँ त्यो द नुआन्सेस हुन्छ नि यस्तो दामी छ हुन्छ नि एन्ड इट्स लाइक सर्ट अफ केटरिङ टु बोथ टाइप अफ अडियन्सेस हुन्छ नि हु आर मोर के अरे तिम्रो कमर्सियल सेन्ट्रिक त्यस्तोलाई पनि केटर गरिरहेको छ एन्ड पिपल हु आर इन्टेलिजेन्ट वर लुकिङ फर लाइक यु नो तार्कोभ्स्की खालको फिल्महरू हुन्छ नि विच इज लाइक मोर अगेन आई हेड टु युज द्याट वर्ड इन्टेलिजेन्ट होइन त्यस्तो अडियन्सलाई पनि केटर गरिरहेको छ हुन्छ नि एन्ड ही स्पिक्स अबाउट लाइक एन्ड देन ही डज नट गिभ एन ओपिनियन क्या हुन्छ नि एन्ड ही लिभ्स द स्टोरी हिज फिल्म्स हुन्छ नि क्वाइट ओपन एन्डेड हुन्छ नि
It is up to
the audience to decide what you want to do or what you think who's right and who's wrong or is this right or is this wrong.
And I think ultimately all of it stems from the fact that they've investigated themselves to the extent that they are willing to put themselves out there.
Right.
So coming back to the मैले भने first one, the differing perspectives might not be so different after all. To be able to copy or to steal or to be inspired by someone, as you know, Tarantino, he co-opts the phrase, he uses it, he talks about great artists steal, and that's how he sort of looks at it. But even that, I think it begins with a point of introspecting yourself, understanding yourself, and then having a definite style, a definite soul or essence that you want to put into your work, and then bringing it out onto paper or screen or whatever it is.
Right.
So with that in since we are talking about this, why don't you give us a glimpse into your own process, your own artistic vision?
मलाई त के लाग्छ त्यही हुन्छ नि I mean now I sit back and realize how I made all these films it's surely sort of instigated my stimulated my intelligence again र कतिवटा स्टोरी चाहिँ अब जस्तो फर इक्जाम्पल शान्ति I don't know I was just see यस्तो खालको स्टोरी त पुरै आएको छ नि त women killing or women centric and all that right. But the fact that I was speaking to the writer and she explained the story so beautifully I didn't have to read the story again and again just one narration from the writer herself made me question a lot of things in terms of womenको social standing in society है.
Sorry to cut you across, the writer of Shanti.
Yeah, Chimi Amulama. She, I forgot to mention her name, sorry. But when she was like narrating the story, it made me question a lot of things. And like I told you, women's social standing, human hubris, and if you are capable of doing something, we taking pride, right? And then that itself is like so disgusting, the fact that if you are capable of doing something, you take pride, and who are you to take pride, right? If you see in the animal kingdom, the most efficient animal is the condor, and tigers are excellent to it. They never take pride. Do they take pride? And even the house cats, they are like most effective killers. Do they take pride? I mean, have you seen that? An ounce of sort of okay,
so when you're talking about pride,
I'm coming to the point now. Now, जुन चाहिँ लेडी शान्तिलेमा होइन डाकुको टाउको काटिदिएको छ, the fact that she didn't took any pride. Okay, like for example, हामी धुलाइदियो भने के भन्छ, त्यसलाई त मैले हिर्काइदिएँ नि भन्दैन. And then उसले चाहिँ के गरे अरे भन्दा she never took pride अरे. And then when त्यो olden days मा when story telling हुन्थ्यो, उनीहरूको पनि आगो भक्क बालेर जस्तो आज हामीले बसेर गफ गर्दा जस्तो त्यस्तो बोजूले कुरा गर्दै क्या, she used to narrate नि. And then the writer never used to feel that sense of pride in her. Yeah, she was just like she just narrated as any other incident. And आजको दिनमा चाहिँ त्यो घटना घटेको भए चाहिँ people have awarded her for bravery or something. तर त्यस्तो त्यो दिनमा त्यस्तो थिएन हैन.
It was just a part of life.
Yeah, it was just a part of life. So त्यसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ मलाई like really I wanted to make this film. And it was challenging किनभने अब short time मा कसरी देखाउनु हुन्छ उसको pride पनि pride नलिएको उसले गरेको हैन. The fact that she goes into a state of shock after the incident, and then त्यसले चाहिँ अब पुरा उयो गरे क्या हुन्छ नि, कभर गर्नु खोजे क्या मैले त्यसो पाराले. So when I was discussing my film in Kustendorf, there were a lot of filmmakers from the other part of the world. And then the Finland go and then this Polish filmmaker. So I was they were asking me about the same question. Okay, so I mean this and then okay, they helped me identify where
the
you have shown.
subtext.
Yes, exactly, the subtext. So this and they were source of inspiration where you've been like there are certain things in the world which exist and that intrigues you. For example, मलाई चाहिँ moral र ethics ले पुरा उयो गर्छ क्या, moral र ethics ले पुरा intrigue गर्छ हैन, and I get disturbed at times also. So if I find something to I would not say to challenge the status quo or the norms where morality and ethical values are based on. So यो कुरोलाई अलिकति च्यालेन्ज गर्न सक्यो या क्वेशन गर्नु पर्यो भने क्वेशन भन्नु इट्स अ बेटर वर्ड र it really intrigues me. And त्यहाँ चाहिँ त्यो आइडियाहरु आफै आउँछ हुन्छ नि क्या. Okay, so सबलाई होला नि त हैन, त्यो के रे this good this bad भनेर त हुन्छ नि. That's why we have law, man, हैन. That's why we have law, that's why we have family, that's why we have society.
If you have a system, institution.
हुन्छ नि त सबलाई छ नि त त्यो. So I think this is एउटा बेसिक कुरै हो क्या हुन्छ नि.
And that this is something that interests you.
It really interests me, intrigues me हुन्छ नि, and it disturbs me also हुन्छ नि क्या. And I get scared also at times हुन्छ नि क्या. So त्यसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ यो कुरोले हुन्छ नि, I want to like sort of bring it on screen, right? Or maybe हुन्छ नि I am this is for example when I was in Kustendorf, right? So like I was telling you हुन्छ नि the sophistication भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ त्यहाँ चाल पाएँ मैले क्या. they were like so sophisticated and they were just keeping to themselves, right? एकदम प्राइभेट स्पेसमा बसेर होइन गरेर एन्ड आई वाज लाइक सो लेफ्ट आउट हुन्छ नि अन्त मलाई लाग्यो ओके होइन 5 दिन बिताउनु पर्ने म 2 दिन त्यहाँ बिताइसकेको त्यस्तो भएरले होइन आई जस्ट वान्टेड टु गेट ब्याक होम क्या एज सुन एज पोसिबल बट अन द थर्ड डे वाट आई डिड वाज होइन आई जस्ट यु नो म आफै जस्तो भयो क्या हुन्छ नि I was just being myself and then I was like I go and talk to people, I hug people and then I have to shake hands and then I don't know भनेर हुन्छ नि डुङ्गामा बस्दै पक्का बेहोरा देखेको थिएँ क्या मैले त्यहाँदेखि चाहिँ you understand what I'm trying to say होइन त्यो देखाइदिएँ क्या उनीहरूले अन्त yes हुन्छ नि then they started also accepting me हुन्छ नि गरेर अब
So you examined yourself.
sorry
You examined yourself. Okay, त्यही कुरा गर्दै थिएँ नि.
अब हुन्छ नि अब त्यस्तो गरेर चाहिँ ओके हुन्छ नि एन्ड देन लाइक दे वाज सो भेरी पोलिटिकली करेक्ट क्या बुझ्यो एन्ड जुन चाहिँ कुरो भन्नु थियो होइन त्यो चाहिँ उनीहरूले घुमाइ पारेर भन्ने क्या अन्त मलाई जस्तो डुङ्गामा बेहोरा मैले बुझ्नु चाहिँ मुखमा प्लाच्छ मलाई मन परेन यो यस्तो भन्नु होइन अनि आई डिड नट सक देम बट दे स्टार्टेड ब्रिङिङ मी हुन्छ नि उनीहरूको त्यो क्लोज स्पेसमा क्या हुन्छ नि बुझ्यो देन दे स्टार्टेड बाइङ ड्रिङ्क्स फर मी हुन्छ नि अब बुझ्यो ओभर आएर लु आइज बस जाउँ म घुमाउँछु तँलाई कुनै के भनेर हुन्छ नि क्या त्यस्तो भयो क्या सो यु नो एन्ड वेन त्यही पोलिटिकल करेक्ट हुन्छ नि क्या इट्स समथिङ द्याट आई डोन्ट लाइक अल्सो हुन्छ नि एट टाइम्स इट इज गुड एट टाइम्स बट नट मोस्ट अफ द टाइम हुन्छ नि
Often it can serve to further alienate.
Right.
I think that's what
right.
Your story also
it
gets
alienates
at.
people हुन्छ नि क्या है we are social animal, yeah. We need to hug, we need to touch, and then we need to feel each other's pain and all that.
We need to connect.
Right.
And it's been lovely having this partnership almost, or an exchange of ideas. Like, I know that, we often have these moments, I'll be like, hey, I say something and you'll be like, hey, yeah, this was... So almost a telepathic connection, and I think it's because that we were talking about sharing the same language, and when I say language, I don't mean Nepali, or English, not that sort of language, but the same language as in we share interests. We've also gone through. I wouldn't say gone through, but we've sort of been going after. We've been going after. The things that we love, and somehow with us it's managed to click, and I think it's beautiful when that happens. You also have your own production house, April Skies Films, and so what about the support of your fellow artists and workers? How do you let's say, suppose someone here is listening to this or watching it, hopefully, and that person thinks to themselves, okay, this guy sounds interesting, I want to work with him, so how would this person get to you, or what are you looking for in someone you want to work with?
First of all, interest and passion, and how much he loves the art, how much he loves filmmaking, that's the prerequisite, but if someone is like looking for just for short-term fame or money, then that's not really going to help. Then I really want to work with people who are like self-motivated, who who wants to go that extra mile. And obviously हाम्रो हिल्समा अलिकति वर्क एथिक राम्रो छैन है and professionalism छैन हैन र we are filled with like insecurities, we just want to outdo each other हुन्छ नि हैन I think अहिले त हाम्रो एउटा इन्डस्ट्री बनेको पनि छैन हुन्छ नि we shouldn't do like that हुन्छ नि हैन आएर चाहिँ कस्तो पाराले हुन्छ नि you just want to be the part of the project हुन्छ नि क्या त्यस्तो भयो भने चाहिँ त्यस्तो छ भने चाहिँ yes हुन्छ नि मजा आउँछ काम गर्नु हैन or else it'll be difficult.
No, I think what shines through all the conversations I have had with you is, irrespective of the technicalities, or anything else, it's the love of what you're doing.
For the love of what you're doing, हुन्छ नि अन्त मात्रै चाहिँ हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्दैछ मलाई नि हैन एन्ड अब जस्तो हामी गए उता कुस्टन अफमा हैन अगेन हुन्छ नि त्यसलाई चाहिँ मलाई बेस राखेर चाहिँ हैन the kind of films that were showed हुन्छ नि हैन हामी पनि सक्छौँ क्या त्यति गर्नु त वाइ कान्ट हुन्छ नि हामी पनि सक्छौँ क्या गर्नु हुन्छ नि अनि मैले जति फिचर लेन्थहरू बनाएको थिएँ त्यो फिल्महरू हुन्छ नि यस हुन्छ नि सक्छौँ हामीले पनि सक्छौँ गर्नु क्या त्यो प्रोभाइडेड हाम्रो चाहिँ त्यो उयो नै राम्रो त्यो कोहेसिभ इन्भाइरोमेन्टै हुनु
something I was thinking when the news broke, that you won the silver egg, which is like huge. Okay, this was the first movie from India. I mean, he doesn't speak about it enough, but this was the first movie from India to be selected, and you didn't just get selected, you didn't just get nominated, you won the silver egg. So that's huge, first of all. And the first thing that came to mind when I heard the news, I texted you, congratulations. The first thing was, mom सक्छु उसले त सक्यो म पनि सक्छु and I don't mean to demean you. It's not, I'm not saying that, not in that way, but if he can do it, he's from the same place that I am from, he's from the same area, we were neighbors, so if he can do it, why can't I? What's stopping me?
Right. त्यही हुन्छ नि त्यही सेल्फ डाउट एउटा त होइन अर्को हुन्छ नि विच त्यो अघि मैले भने त्यो कन्सटेन्ट त्यो ब्याटल विच रेजेस अन इनसाइड यु होइन त्यो राइट सकिन्छ गर्नु क्या हुन्छ नि इट्स जस्ट द्याट कि यु हेभ टु हेभ द्याट ग्रेट है आई नो चेन्ज यु डोन्ट हेभ टु बी एक्स्ट्राअर्डिनरीली ट्यालेन्टेड नो हुन्छ नि क्या त्यो अगेन त्यो अघि त्यो प्राइडको कुरा गर्दैछु नि मैले त्यो आउँछ क्या हुन्छ नि सो डोन्ट हुन्छ नि ट्यालेन्ट इज सेकेन्डरी लाग्छ क्या मलाई फर्स्ट इज योर के अरे तिम्रो सेल्फ त्यो ड्राइभ हो क्या त्यो हुन्छ नि
Passion and the ability to put it into effect.
यो सेकेन्डरी तिम्रो यो जति पनि ट्यालेन्ट छ तिम्रो पैसा छ दिज आर अल सेकेन्डरी फर्स्ट इज तिम्रो उयो हो क्या त्यो तिम्रो ड्राइभ हो क्या होइन मलाई चाहिँ त्यो लाग्छ हुन्छ नि आई डोन्ट नो
The road to success is filled with talented people who didn't do justice to it.
राइट हुन्छ नि अब हाम्रै गाउँमा कतिजना यस्तो दामी दामी म्युजिसियन्सहरू छ हुन्छ नि है दे आर एक्स्ट्राअर्डिनरी ट्यालेन्टेड हुन्छ नि दे आर इन्टेलिजेन्ट होइन बट समहाउ उनीहरूले त्यो निकाल्नु सकेको छैन क्या हुन्छ नि अब त्यही हुन्छ नि अब म्युजिक इज लाइक अगेन होइन फिल्म मेकिङ इज कोलाबोरेटिभ होइन प्रोसेस हुन्छ नि यु हेभ टु मिट विथ अल सर्ट्स अफ पिपल हुन्छ नि होइन उनीहरूलाई कसरी त्यो पर्सनल डिफ्रेन्सेस कसरी राख्नुहुन्छ नि त्यो राखेर चाहिँ आउनुपर्छ क्या उसमा हुन्छ नि म्युजिक पनि त त्यही हो होइन एक्लैले सक्दैन गर्नु हुन्छ नि यु निड पिपल बिहाइन्ड यर ब्याक फर इक्जाम्पल तिम्रो के अरे रेकर्डिस्ट होइन तिम्रो अरेन्ज गर्ने मान्छे तिम्रो मिक्सिङ गर्ने मान्छे होइन तिम्रो टेक्निकल उयोहरू हेर्ने मान्छे हुन्छ नि क्या सो हेभ टु गट इन विथ अल दिस पिपल हुन्छ नि क्या सो ट्यालेन्ट त के हो र ट्यालेन्ट सबैकोमा हुन्छ क्या सबैकोमा हुन्छ ट्यालेन्ट हुन्छ नि इट्स जस्ट द्याट कि उनीहरूले जति भित्र त्यो इन्ट्रोस्पेक्ट गरेर चाहिँ ओके मेरो ट्यालेन्ट म कसरी युज गर्न सक्छु अगाडि होइन होइन
What do you do with the talent?
Exactly.
That's what matters. I was just thinking about that thing I told you about. If he can do it, why can't I? And then I think that is something that should inspire us. Listening to you talk right now, and that is it may sound like a plug, but that's the whole point of this podcast. I think it's time. And it's very essential that we recognize that meroma pani talent cha, I can also do it. So what is missing? What do I have to do to take the next step? And I think hopefully, through your story and through the story of others who might have done something, maybe we can all learn like you said, talent is fine, but then you need the drive and the determination. Like you said, everything may not work out. Sometimes you might feel like, what am I doing? But then you need to have the drive and perseverance.
अब त्यो पनि हो एउटा विजडम पनि हो हुन्छ नि बिकज लाइक अब आई मिन हु गिभ्स यु द राइट टु से द्याट हुन्छ नि अब कि यु आर ओन्ली राइट भनेर होइन एन्ड वी आर ह्युमन बिङ हुन्छ नि हाम्रो यस हुन्छ नि हाम्रो फ्लज हुन्छ हाम्रो उयो हुन्छ हाम्रो सर्ट कमिजहरू धेरै किसिमको सर्ट कमिजहरू हुन्छ होइन र यो कुरोहरू चाहिँ हामीले सोचेको छ भने इफ यु पुट दिज थिङ्स इन्टु कन्सिडरेसन हुन्छ नि त्यहाँदेखि चाहिँ आई थिङ्क विल बी ओपन फर कोलाबोरेसन हुन्छ नि एन्ड देन मेनी थिङ्स हुन्छ नि होइन गरेर हुन्छ नि अब मेरो पर्सपेक्टिभ म राइट त भन्नु मिल्दैन भनेन नि त अन्त फर इक्जाम्पल मैले नि एउटा फिल्म बनाएँ लु हुन्छ नि ओके सो द्याट्स वाट आइम बिन टेलिङ अल्सो हुन्छ नि कि यु डु अ प्रपर रिसर्च बिफोर एक्चुली कमिटिङ टु एनी स्टोरी अर एनी प्रोजेक्ट राइट यु सबै जग्गाबाट हेरेर क्या तिमी त्यो र त्यहाँदेखि चाहिँ यु गिभ यु पुट अ क्वेसन ओके बिकज लाइक एक्सियम्सहरू केही पनि छैन क्या हुन्छ नि बुझ्यो
There is no tried and tested path.
एक्ज्याक्टली सो त्यही हो म त भन्छु कि हुन्छ नि अब जस्ट ट्राई एन्ड कोलाबोरेट विथ डिफ्रेन्ट पिपल हुन्छ नि यु माइट ह्याभ डिफ्रेन्ट पर्सपेक्टिभ है अर्कै केही उयो हुन्छ एन्ड इट्स ब्युटिफुल
And have an attitude of learning. I think that is also very important. We were speaking about it just the other day.
This famous futurologist Alvin Tofflerले त्यही भनेको हुन्छ नि we've come to that age where we constantly need schooling and unschooling अरे क्या right it's beautiful in the one because every 2 months हुन्छ नि यो एन्ड्रोइड फोन gets updated हैन अब विन्डोजको कति भर्जन आइसक्यो हुन्छ नि क्या होइन यो कुरो चाहिँ अब हाम्रो फिल्म मेकिङ या एनी आर्टमा मात्रै हुँदैन हुन्छ नि इन एभ्री स्पियर अफ लाइफ दिस इट अप्लाइज टु एभ्री स्पियर अफ लाइफ मलाई त्यस्तो लाग्छ
You were talking about Parasite playing to both worlds, like you said. One is the more commercial aspect, the other is the one where it requires maybe more of an intellectual input or output of, for that matter, or thought, let's say. So balancing these two different worlds is something I think a lot of artists can also relate to, right? So how have you also battled with this? Is it something that you battle with?
Very interesting question, and I don't know how do I answer your question. Now, again, I don't want to sound very cliched, yes, man, because obviously, since I've chosen this path to win bread and butter also, so we'll have to see that commercial aspect also, it's all about taking risks. And when the first draft is ready, त्यति बेला चाहिँ थाहा हुन्छ कि तिमीलाई चाहिँ ओके हुन्छ नि दिस विल वर्क अर दिस विल नट वर्क भनेर है पाराले सो मलाई लाग्छ हुन्छ नि अब यु हेभ टु मेजर एभ्री अपर्च्युनिटी होइन ओके यसलाई चाहिँ म कसरी लान सक्छु यसलाई कसरी गर्न सक्छु म होइन हाउ क्यान दिस स्टोरी क्यान बी रिलेटेबल टु द नर्मल मासेस हुन्छ नि एन्ड अल्सो टु द इन्टेलिजेन्ट वान्स or the one who actually seeks or questions right it's a very delicate process pani लाग्छ मलाई हैन यसो गरेर
You have to walk a tightrope.
Exactly right and then it's also a risk हुन्छ नि because हामी स्टोरी गर्दाखेरि ओके हुन्छ नि मेरो फर्स्ट इन्स्टिङ्क्टले त हुन्छ के भन्छ ओके आई लाइक दिस स्टोरी एन्ड देन द्याट स्टोरी इज वाट इट्स नट इट विल नट अपिल टु द नर्मल मासेस But how can I make the same thing, which can appeal, I would not say the whole mass, but to some people, to the sizable audience.
Actually, we can maybe talk about the project maybe a bit later.
Sure.
Like really get into the project because it's really interesting, and I don't just say it because I was the first one to read the script, but it's quite interesting. It's quite an interesting project. I'm sorry. So, you talked about walking a fine line, and at the same time catering to a commercial audience as well as you said an intellectual audience, I think it's about striking a fine balance, like we've been talking about walking the fine line. I think it's about striking a fine balance. Of course it has to make money. Ultimately it has to make money. It has to be beneficial to the investors, to everyone who's put in work. At the same time it should remain true to the vision that you have set out for yourself, and that requires bravery as well as cleverness.
Cleverness त अब के भन्नु हुन्छ नि अब one has to be I would not say clever or little smart to play because सेन्स हुन्छ नि हामी पनि कस्तो भने हुन्छ नि वी आर मेकिङ फिल्म अफ समवान हु हेज हार्ड एन्ड पे हो नि त मनी हो नि त त्यो पनि होइन सो वी क्यानट लाइक जेपडाइज देयर मनी बाई फुलफिलिङ आर सेटिस्फ्याक्सन हुन्छ नि एन्ड द्याट वुड बी भेरी भेरी सेल्फिस एन्ड अनएथिकल हुन्छ नि होइन त्यो भएर सो त्यही हो टु स्ट्राइक द फाइन ब्यालेन्स अगेन एन्ड आई थिङ्क नेपाली मुभिजमा जस्तो खालको मुभिज आएको छ जस्तो यो जारीको है एन्ड आई वुड से जारी हुन्छ नि त्यो अलिकति आर्टिस्टिक खालको नै इन्क्लिनेसन छ हुन्छ नि एन्ड पिपल एक्चुली एक्सेप्टेड द्याट काइन्ड अफ फिल्म राइट एन्ड बट द फ्याक्ट द्याट इट अर्न 17 crores होइन वर्ल्ड वाइड अनि ग्रस गऱ्यो होइन it made a huge impression on even in the normal masses.
So it's proof that you can do it. You can have yeah definitely. This is something I feel very personally about. There is this general idea that we don't have any good art because audience to chaina त्यसको लागि हैन like the people nowadays they just want 15-second videos and all that but then I feel like if you make it if there is something good you know if there's something good then people will respond to it
you know what I was watching एउटा podcast यस्तो खालको हुन्छ नि where they were discussing about film so film school भन्ने एउटा उयो छ क्या युट्युब च्यानल छ क्या इट्स अ वन्डरफुल च्यानल फर अल एस्पायरिङ फिल्म मेकर्स होइन एन्ड दे हेभ टु यो च्यानल चाहिँ एकपल्ट उयो गर्नु क्या रिसर्च गर्नु क्या हुन्छ नि त्यो ब्युटिफुल टपिक्स हुन्छ नि जस्तो सेम थिङ होइन नाउ ब्याक इन लाइक अर्ली 2000 2000मा चाहिँ के हुन्थ्यो त्यहाँ त्यो टाइमसम्म चाहिँ के भन्छ movies were movies and television series were television series. Now it's just the other way around. क्या हुन्छ नि television series and web series are like movies क्या पहिलाको 90s 80s को हुन्छ नि त्यो फिल छ अझै क्या र मुभी चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ हाम्रो अलिकति जस्ट त्यो फ्लिप भएको छ क्या अहिले बुझ्यो अब हेरौँ न हाम्रो उयो हुन्छ नि अब इभन अब हाम्रो उसमा इन्डियामा होइन डेली क्राइम्स है अब त्यो खालको फिल्म हुन्छ नि त्यो पेस हुन्छ नि त्यो लाइटिङ त्यो सेटिङ हुन्छ नि अब दे हेभ लाइक पेड सो मच अफ अटेन्सन टु प्रडक्सन भ्याल्यू हुन्छ नि आई मिन प्रडक्सन डिटेल्समा हुन्छ नि अब इभन लाइक सानो प्रप्सहरूदेखि लिएर हुन्छ नि यस्तो राम्रो अथेन्टिक बनाएको छ क्या बट त्यो चाहिँ आजकल फिल्म चाहिँ हेर्नु पाउँदैन क्या हामीले है फिल्म चाहिँ तिम्रो उयो भएको छ हुन्छ नि अब जस्ट अपोजिट भएको छ क्या आई मिन फ्लिप भएको छ क्या अहिले नेटफ्लिक्समा हेरौँ न कस्तो राम्रो राम्रो सिरिजहरू आएको हुन्छ नि एन्ड देन इट्स ब्युटिफुल हुन्छ नि अब क्या सो होपफुली हुन्छ नि वी स्टिल ह्याभ द्याट द टर्म द्याट यु युज द आर्टिस्टिक इन्टिग्रिटी हुन्छ नि क्या त्यो वेब सिरिज जस्तो छ क्या अझ पनि and we have certain set of people who actually love this kind of
exactly there is an audience that will respond to what you create I think
yes why not funny
it's funny I think it's just it requires that drive to do it in the first place
and we have platforms now हुन्छ नि you don't हुन्छ नि अब के रे तिमीलाई त्यो एक्स्ट्रा पुश पनि चाहिदैन हुन्छ नि there is
no I think it's easier than ever before to put your work out there
त्यो चाहिँ अलिक भन्नु अलिक साह्रै छ बिकज आई हेभन्ट अहिलेसम्म त के मेरो वर्क्सहरू गएको छैन अहिलेसम्म होइन
No, I mean, sorry, I meant it like on because of social media and platforms like YouTube, or Vimeo, all these platforms. Compared to before, is it easier?
It Vimeo मा त हुन्छ नि you'll have to have a separate account हुन्छ नि YouTube मा त हुन्छ नि अब it's your discretion होइन how do you want to put it but like you were saying हुन्छ नि the kind of audience who responds to this kind of art or film right there's a testimonial fact that there's a one channel I forgot the name of the channel नेपाली छ कि च्यानल नेपालको छ कि it's a very slow paced हुन्छ नि हाम्रो यो ओजु Japanese filmmaker जसको त्यो फ्यामिली ड्रामा यासुजिरो ओजु भन्ने छ नि उसको जुन चाहिँ त्यो पेस छ एकदमै स्लो पेस्ड हुन्छ नि एन्ड देन अन्ली सर्टन इट्स भेरी एसोटोरिक होइन सर्टन पिपल मात्रै उयो हुन्छ क्या के अरे रियाक्ट गर्छ क्या अन्त मैले अस्ति हेरेको थिएँ 3 दिनमै उसको 3 लाखकै कति पुगेको थियो क्या भ्युज एन्ड इट्स भेरी स्लो पेस्ड इट्स अ फ्यामिली ड्रामा हुन्छ नि क्या ड्रामा इज नट लाइक त्यो सोप अपरा जस्तो होइन क्या हुन्छ नि हाम्रो साँसको विवाह हुँदैन नट द्याट काइन्ड अफ अपरा बट त्यो तिम्रो ओजु होइन रहेछ त अन्त यस्तो पनि हुनु अनि एन्ड देन उनीहरूको प्रडक्सन भ्यालु त्यस्तो खासै छैन होइन साउन्ड सक्स बिग टाइम होइन बट त्यो छ क्या समथिङ इज देयर क्या इट्स सो ब्युटिफुल हुन्छ
And the
नि
platform is also there. I think that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, platform पनि छ so.
होइन अब हेर्नुहोस् है यु नो देयर इज एउटा ग्रुप छ कि हुन्छ नि अब आई मिन दिस इज अ साउट आउट अल्सो हुन्छ नि टु दिस गाइज यिनीहरू सुकिया पोखरीको रहेछ होइन पूर्णिमाको रात भन्ने बुद्धि पूर्णिमाको रात भन्ने एउटा त्यो च्यानल त्यो सिरिज छ क्या हुन्छ नि एन्ड यो चाहिँ उनीहरूले फ्लिक्स खालकै पाराले बनाएको छ बट ब्युटिफुल स्टोरी टेलिङ क्या हो इफ यु क्यान डु हुन्छ नि फ्लिक वे एन्ड यु हेभ अ वे टु टेल अ स्टोरी इन अ ब्युटिफुल वे एन्ड यु क्यान लाइक यु हेभ द पोटेन्सियल टु क्याप्चर द अडियन्सेस एटेन्सन सकिन्छ क्या गर्नु त्यो च्यानल त्यो भाइहरूको च्यानल हेर्नुहोस् त्यो यति दामी छ यति दामी बनाएको छ कि एन्ड आई थिङ्क इट वाज सर्ट ओन्ली इन मोबाइलमा होला क्या
त्यो के भन्नुभयो न
बुद्धि पूर्णिमाको रात भन्ने एउटा उयो छ क्या हुन्छ नि अन्त फर्स्ट 4 एपिसोड्स होला हुन्छ नि इट वाज ब्युटिफुल हुन्छ नि त्यहाँदेखि चाहिँ मलाई त्यस्तो हेरेको मैले फलो गरेको छुइनँ बट फर्स्ट 4 एपिसोड चाहिँ इट क्याप्टिभेटेड मलाई क्या हुन्छ नि क्या माई अटेन्सन
So what is stopping you then, होइन
एक्ज्याक्टली हुन्छ वाट इज टपिक के हुन्छ नि क्या अब मलाई चाहिँ के लाग्छ भने चाहिँ अब ट्यालेन्ट इज इम्पोर्टेन्ट होइन अब एउटा हुनुपर्छ क्या मान्छेको हुन्छ नि एउटा त्यो ड्राइभ प्लस एउटा जस्तो मैले भनिहालेँ हुन्छ नि अब यु हेभ टु नो वाट यु गुड एट ओके द्याट्स भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट हुन्छ नि ओके यु वान बी अ फिल्म मेकर you sort of introspect also but and know your talent know your expertise हैन यस्तो हो कि अन्त ओ यसले त राम्रो पैसा कमाउँछ या यसले त मलाई फेम दिन्छ या यसले त मलाई यु नो इज्जत दिन्छ मान इज्जत दिन्छ त्यसरी नजानु त्यसरी गयो भने चाहिँ कचल्टिन्छ क्या
यो मोटिभेसन
एक्ज्याक्टली हुन्छ नि यु हेभ टु नो यर ट्यालेन्ट अनि त्यो तिमीले आफू आइडेन्टिफाई गर्नु सक्यो भने चाहिँ यस अन्त जस्तो यो भाइहरूले हुन्छ नि आई थिङ्क हुन्छ नि अब राम्रो गाइडेन्स पायो भने तिनीहरूले राम्रो खाले फिल्म बनाउँछ क्या राम्रो फिल्म बनाउँछ राम्रो प्रडक्ट झन् दामी बनाउँछ हुन्छ नि क्या फर इक्जाम्पल आई वुड लाइक टु स्पिक अबाउट दिस फिल्म मेकर फ्रम नेपाल एकदम कम्तीले सुनेको छ होला होइन उहाँको नाम चाहिँ नवीन सुब्बा हो है नवीन सुब्बाको फिल्म छ युट्युबमा वाट इज इट कल्ड नुमाफुङ भन्ने र एक्टिङ सक्स बट सिनेमाटोग्राफी डिरेक्सन यति ब्युटिफुल छ एन्ड द राइटिङ हुन्छ नि क्या एन्ड त्यो चाहिँ ओभरलुक गर्छ क्या तिमीले एक्टिङै हेर्दैन क्या तिमीले स्टोरी क्याप्टिभेट चाहिँ हुन्छ नि अब क्या यस्तो दामी छ त्यो फिल्म हुन्छ नि क्या एन्ड त्यही हो नि त एन्ड हि न्यू इज ट्यालेन्ट हुन्छ नि अब हि डिन्ट कम्प्लेन अफ लाइक नट ह्याभिङ गुड एक्टर्स यु अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड वाट आइम ट्राइङ टु से वेन यु नो द ट्यालेन्ट हुन्छ नि तिमीलाई यो के एक्ज्याक्टली हुन्छ नि तिमी सक्छौ क्या हुन्छ नि होइन and when you know your talent it's confidence sheer confidence
I think coming to Tarantino since we referred I no that wasn't Tarantino's quote you said it is Picasso right
Picasso,
I think it's
Picasso
even earlier than Picasso pani hola I'm not sure about that quote okay anyway anyone who knows please do let us know but coming to Tarantino he talks about that about the idea of making a good movie. If you love movies with all your heart, then you cannot help but make a good movie, Vanja. And I think that applies to art as well. If you love art with all your heart, you cannot help but make good art. Applies to life as well. If you love what you do, you cannot help but be good at it.
Right. I was. You know, this can be applied to anything. Even cooking, how do you set your house and all that. From engineering, everything is art. Even management, it's so number oriented and all that, right? Art in a way, and the thing is that okay, मैले बुझेको छु भने चाहिँ मेरो एक्सपर्टिज या मेरो ट्यालेन्ट या मेरो एरिया अफ इन्ट्रेस्ट हुन्छ नि सर्टनली हुन्छ नि आई विल फ्लरिस र होइन हुन्छ नि अब देन फर द्याट हुन्छ नि अगेन हुन्छ नि यु हेभ टु हेभ द्याट इन्टरनल वारफेयर
war within yourself
त्यो एक्ज्याक्टली होइन अब सी हामी भन्छौँ कि के अरे इन्टेलिजेन्ट मान्छेले मात्रै सक्सिड गर्छ भनेर होइन बट वाट एक्ज्याक्टली इज इन्टेलिजेन्स you'll have to understand that also हुन्छ नि अब होइन अब साइकोलोजिकली प्रुभन देयर आर लाइक 8 टाइप्स अफ इन्टेलिजेन्स होइन अब यो बुझेको छ भने हुन्छ नि इभन फुटबलमा पनि खेल्यो भने एनी स्पोर्ट हुन्छ नि होइन त्यो उनीहरूले त दिमागै चलाएको नि त त्यो एक्ज्याक्टली होइन अन्त जस्तो मेसीले खेल्छ होइन रोनाल्डोले खेल्छ होइन देयर आर अदर फुटबल प्लेयर्स अल्सो हुन्छ नि अब उनीहरूको दिमाग त चल्दैछ नि हुन्छ नि होइन अब फुटबलमा पनि हुन्छ नि अब डिफेन्सदेखि लिएर मिडफिल्डरदेखि लिएर स्ट्राइकरदेखि लिएर उनीहरूको दिमाग अर्कोबाट चल्छ हुन्छ नि
That's also intelligence. Yeah, the different theories of intelligence, no? Howard Gardner, I think. Multiple intelligences. Howard Gardner, I think that he's the one who speaks about it. Howard Gardner.
And one thing that I want to actually add is that ki comfort, Sunny, comfort actually kills you. There are people who actually who is just comfort in certain area and who doesn't want to go step outside their comfort zone. त्यसले चाहिँ I think they won't reach anywhere जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई होइन र they won't be able to make a good art. Because if I'm comfortable with only certain people then I'll just be surrounded with certain people. उयो हुँदै हुँदैन क्या and I have to to
Be brave.
Exactly.
Get out of that.
Get out of it. Challenge yours.
And getting out of that comfort zone is not just getting out of a place, but getting out of certain mindsets.
From your mindset.
From yourself.
Already defined, त्यो mind space हुन्छ नि क्या.
Again, I think it comes back to what we had discussed, no? And that brings us back full circle, I think. So with that, I think we can come to the end of our first segment. No? We'll continue with this.
Sure.
So definitely, and it's been a lovely conversation. So I'm not letting you go. I'm not letting you go so easily. We'll bring it to an end with this. But it comes back to that full circle. Okay? It comes back full circle to what we had talked about first. It requires you to be brave with yourself.
Right.
That's all. So I think with this we can come to the end of our first segment, and of course stay tuned for more because we are going to continue this conversation. It's been lovely having you here and look forward to more conversations like this. Thank you.
Today's episode is powered by Tenam Garden. Located in the beautiful woods of Kalimpong, come enjoy a surreal homestay experience at Tenam Garden Holistic Homestay, and an extraordinary dining experience in its in-house restaurant, Mikoto, which serves a fusion of Japanese and Bhutanese cuisine. For further details, check out the link given in the description below.
Welcome back to part 2 of our Point of podcast, where we are in conversation with Mr. Vivek Rai, filmmaker. Point of podcast is brought to you by Artsy Productions in collaboration with Summed Up and For Creatives. And yes, we had a lovely conversation. We've been having an amazing conversation.
I hope I'm not boring you guys.
Definitely not. I mean, I'm sure people will let us know if you were. So we were talking about, these plans that you have, the projects that you're working on for your future, things that you're working on right now. Could you maybe give us an idea of what you're working on?
Yeah, our next project will be hopefully trying to shoot from next month. It's called Lipstick Golay. Lipstick Golay rather. It's a original story and I've written this story and certainly you've helped me write this story also. यो फिल्ममा चाहिँ it's a social drama and it's about why people drink and people who actually drink, why do they drink, right? And then it's about it's based on Sigmund Freud's famous quotation, use your mind in little things and trust your heart in bigger ones. So the film is all about that, right? So Lipstick Golay चाहिँ तपाईको actually there's a place which actually exists, है गाडीधुरामा रहेछ, and then the owner of the lady, she wears a very bright red lipstick रहेछ नि त हैन. So we are still in conversation with her if we can use the name of त्यो हैन भनेर के.
Oh, so the place is known as Lipstick Golay. It's like trademark.
Yeah, it's a trademark. त्यो रहेछ नि त के. And I was pretty fascinated हुन्छ नि. So we are in conversation with her also to get the rights and all that, and hopefully के अरे दिन्छ होला because we had a very nice conversation last time we met her, and So it'll be in production sometime in next month.
Next month, I can say you're shooting on, and I've been a part of the process, so I'm also very excited about it because, like you said, it's on the surface level it might sound like a simple story, but then the nuances, the subtleties that are being played around with, I think it's quite interesting, and let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, हाम्रो डिओपीलाई पनि भेटेँ अस्ति मैले होइन, and then we talked about the production value and how do we design the production overall होइन गरेर, and we have a very limited budget हुन्छ नि, बेसी छैन हुन्छ नि, we don't have that extravagant budget हुन्छ नि where we can afford good professional cameras and lightings होइन, but we are trying to sort of make use of the available resources that we have. We have very limited light पनि त्यस्तो बेसी छैन है, क्यामेरा पनि हामी we're trying to get hopefully red पायो भने राम्रो हो, तर I think we'll shoot in Sony A7 III होला है with cinema lenses. हाम्रो एक्टर्सहरू चाहिँ they are very 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 interested in working in this project, and especially हाम्रो जुन चाहिँ मेन लिड छ सतिका सुब्बा भने, she is fantastic actor.
She worked on that certificate.
And she's a very hard-working actress, open, and she loves challenges. And that certificate, she fasted for 17 days, right, to get into that mood and all that. And yes, Isma Bani, she's like working really hard, and she's joined gym and she's trying to lose weight. And she's read couple of times, not couple of times, but I think it's more than 15 times she's read the script, right? And हाम्रो वर्कसपहरू हुँदैछ अहिले, and it's going on pretty well.
It's going on right now, and it's a passion project, I think, no?
And I like to believe so, because I mean, it took me like more than one and a half years to write the script, and then it was there initially, त्यो ideation थियो है, तर it was really difficult. It's a difficult task to put it in paper, and the nuances that you actually noticed all throughout the story, it's a very simple story, like you said, but the layering, it's a, like you said, it's a character analysis, and then it's a character study, right? It was like a really time consuming process, and many people believes that it has come out like really good, and I hope and we'll try our best to to give the best to screen ma pani राम्रो निक्लिन थाल्यो
Okay, you were talking about web series and how some of them have managed to retain that artistic integrity. Are you planning something for web series?
Why not? I mean, like I told you, in Kustendorf, I mean, the Italian film रहेछ हैन, त्यो चाहिँ यसपालि चाहिँ अस्कर नोमिनेसनमा गएको रहेछ हुन्छ नि. So त्यो फिल्म हेर्दाखेरि मलाई कस्तो लाग्यो हुन्छ नि, the kind of tools that they used हुन्छ नि to make this film हुन्छ नि, त्यस्तो टुल्स हामी पनि युज गर्दो रहेछौँ नि त यतानिर हुन्छ नि. It's just that कि उनीहरू वाइट स्किन भएर हामी चाहिँ we get scared that they are like extraordinarily talented and all that, and they are just like normal human beings like us. They have vulnerabilities like we have. They have insecurities like we have. And there's like, see, the story is like universality. People from Japan also can understand our story. It's based on that normal human beings insecurities. And मलाई बाघ देख्दा त म डर लाग्छ नि हैन, अमेरिका मान्छेलाई पनि त्यो होला नि त अन्त,
irrespective of nationality.
त्यही हो नि त हुन्छ नि, fear is the same thing हुन्छ नि अब. So we are made up of the same flesh and blood हुन्छ नि, it's just that क्या skin color is different र त्यसले doesn't really matter हुन्छ नि क्या. What it matters is हुन्छ नि त्यो connection क्या, human त्यो bond क्या हुन्छ नि क्या. So if you can maintain that throughout your story हैन, and like you telling me कि commercial art हुन्छ नि, it's a perfect mixture of commercial and art हुन्छ नि क्या. Where it needs to be shown in artistic way, we'll show that. Where it needs to appeal the the normal audience, we'll do that. So त्यसो गरेर चाहिँ it's a fine balance होला हुन्छ नि. In paper it has come out perfectly, but let's see how does it come on screen, translate the screen. So we're trying our best. And so we've been in constant touch with the DOPs, the actors, the production designer, right? As an editor, so that it becomes a fine balance between commercial and art.
And this is also under your production, April Skies.
Yeah, April Skies film. And producer of the same film.
And I think you're also working on some scripts as well.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I mean you too. We've been like the beautiful one, भन्ने हाम्रो एउटा त्यो story छ है, which is also an original story we are working title चाहिँ beautiful one छ. So after this we think we might go into production हुन्छ नि, for the pre-production हुन्छ नि, and the kind of setting that we are in right now हुन्छ नि, we might sort of use the same spot हुन्छ नि क्या. र अब हुन्छ नि अब एक दुईवटा क्यारेक्टर्स त हामीले छानिसकेको छौँ है, एन्ड डिओपी पनि थालिसकेको छु, र अब एडिटर र उयो छान्नु पर्छ हामीले हुन्छ नि, प्रडक्सन डिजाइनर र ज्ञान हुन्छ नि, कस्तो पाराले यो फिल्मलाई उयो दिने हुन्छ नि.
Beautiful one is something we've been working on for a long
time हुन्छ नि. अब आई डोन्ट नो हुन्छ नि, इट टुक लाइक 15 ड्राफ्ट्स हुन्छ नि होइन, मोर देन द्याट आई गेस हुन्छ नि, बट स्टिल हुन्छ नि, इट्स राइट, इट्स सो एब्स्ट्र्याक्ट बट it really intrigues you हुन्छ नि. And unless हुन्छ नि, if you do not go the depths of the character र है हामीले चाहिँ त्यो दिनु सक्दैनौँ क्या.
It's something which hasn't been done before, at least.
Subcontinent region.
Yeah, I think so. If I may be so bold as to say that, I think it's something that's rarely been done, So I'm really looking forward to it, actually, the beautiful one, and of course, too many more projects that you will be doing, and I'm sure our audience will also be, waiting, just waiting for your next project. So that is certainly something to look forward to for all of us, as admirers of the art as well as supporters of your journey that continues, I think. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So with that, I think we can come to an end for this episode of the podcast. Right, before we end, would you like to say something? I want to speak to filmmakers, aspiring filmmakers from this region. What I want to say to them is that believe in yourself. Now there are like a lot of platforms to showcase your talent, and then figure out what you're good at. त्यो आफ्नो ट्यालेन्ट चिन्नु, अन्त आफ्नो ट्यालेन्ट चिनेपछि कन्फिडेन्स आइहाल्छ. कन्फिडेन्स आएपछि हुन्छ नि, you'll be able to give a good show, right? So and for all directors and writers, and then you read a lot of stories, watch a lot of movies, and then research, and I just don't read हुन्छ नि तिम्रो के अरे novelsहरू होइन, read fiction also, non-fiction also होइन, read about psychology, read about Sigmund Freudको के अरे वर्क्सहरू छ, कार्ल युङको उयो छ होइन, because film is all about psychology पनि हो नि त, human psychology नै deals with human psychology होइन. अन्त sociology is one good interesting subject हुन्छ नि, where you can actually can help you make a good movie, right? So before delving into a project, do a lot of research. So all the best, all the future filmmakers. I'd love to see your work. Yeah, definitely. And I think with that we can come to the end of our podcast. This was episode 1 of Point of Podcast with Mr. Vivek Rai. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with us today, and of course to the audience. Look forward to more. We'll have more episodes coming up soon. And please do follow the Point of Podcast journey. This was Loden Lama signing off. Thank you.